Good Monday morning to you all. Hopefully you guys are having a good morning, getting your coffee out and everything. We got another Watchmen update. U.S. measles cases jumping 35% in just the past week. What you need to know about that. We got wildfires in New York and on Long Island, especially in the Hamptons, causing problems across the East Coast. We have a conservative politician blocked from being on the ballot, even after having won that exact same election, which was voided. I guess you could say, especially because he won the election. Blue cheese, we got to talk about. We got an attack on a nuclear power plant or a dry run here in the United States. We got crazy utility fees, and we got a lot missing from grocery orders. Is that just becoming the norm now? And eggs. Let's talk about. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. Being part of the Watchmen community is getting everyone ahead of the curve and keeping us ahead of the curve so you know what is coming. Appreciate you all. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets us to the right place. Before we go any further, I do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They believe in this community. They believe in what we're doing here. You just heard from Jonathan just the other day. They're us. They're folks just like us, and they're concerned about where the economy is going, and they want to help you protect your retirement accounts. If you want to find out more, there'll be a link at the end of the video. All right, West Texas now reporting nearly 200 measles cases. New Mexico is up to 30, and across the United States, we're looking at a jump of 35% in just the past week. It's now found in 12 states, and the measles continue to spread. Now, it's not as life-threatening as some of these other diseases, but is extremely contagious. Extremely. Moving over to New York and Long Island, we got brush fires near Brooklyn, on the outskirts of New York, as well as Long Island. Strong winds in New York have created an elevated fire risk. National Weather Service issued a special weather statement that was active Saturday and Sunday in New York City and Long Island, where a combination of low relative humidity near 30% and northwest winds gusting 30 to 35 miles per hour, making potential fire spreads quickly. That was from the National Weather Service. Moving over to Europe, we've been kind of tracking this, and the blows keep coming. Remember the Romanian election that for president that the globalists and the European Union did not like how it went, and so they not only voided the presidential election for no apparent reason, they just didn't like how it went, so they just like that election didn't take place. Then they went ahead and arrested Georgescu, which what they charged him with is pretty astonishing, for lying and for founding an organization that is mean or has bad thoughts. So not only did they arrest him, but now they have banned him from participating in the next election. Now this corruption is reaching some special levels. This is like the level of like corruption and evilness that Russia has been known to do. Except here's the difference, is that it's so in your face. In Russia, there's at least some plausible deniability, like, oh, that guy fell off a building. Oh, that guy got charged with embezzling and money or corruption, you know? Oh, okay, that makes sense, that makes sense. This guy being charged with lying, spreading misinformation. Yeah, okay. It's just so in your face. It's like what's happening in Brazil. It's what's happening in the United States and Germany and some of these other countries in the West, where conservatives and anti-globalists, people who are for peace and, you know, like letting people stay free, We're seeing these parties and these people coming under increasing attack by justices, judges, and activists all across the planet. All right, we got Kenneth in southwestern Michigan. Individual not affiliated with Cook Nuclear Power Plant traveled down an access road and drove into a security barrier. Now, they were handled by local law enforcement and nuclear power plant's security team. Was this a dry run or an attempt at something? They have not released any more information on the suspect or incident, and it's all being very hush-hush. Now, I'm going to put a greater than 50-50 odds on the fact that they happen to be Asian and actually Chinese. Why would I say that? Because we've had a lot of incidents recently of Chinese nationals probing U.S. military bases. Now, I don't know how many times you have gotten arrested for trying to sneak into a U.S. military base, but a lot of Chinese nationals have been doing that recently and getting busted, seemingly probing the security around these military bases. And we've been hearing more probing attacks or probing incidents by Chinese nationals on U.S. infrastructure and now power plants. So they're not saying who did it, but I'm going to say that there's probably over a 50% chance that this person is a Chinese national. We keep saying, hey, there's problems and people need to be aware of these problems, but people don't seem to be listening very much. But we're keeping you ahead of the curve here. Willie says, Columbus, Ohio, store shelves are getting more and more bare. They have shrunk certain food aisles in favor of toys and other mass-produced junk. Eggs are officially over $33 for a 60-pack. Beef, when cooked, is having a huge amount of water escape from it. Our governor has declared a state of emergency for the bird flu and quarantined whole counties for birds. Elmira says, no blue cheese dressing anywhere in Elmira, New York. None anywhere. Is anyone else seeing an issue with blue cheese dressing out there? I don't usually look for that, so I can't recollect seeing it or not. But I have seen issues with salad dressings. And also, I remember seeing blue cheese, crumbled blue cheese, at the store just the other day. So let me know if you guys are seeing issues with getting blue cheese dressing out there, or if you have any inkling of why we might be seeing issues with blue cheese dressing. Lenny says, Northern Illinois. I've been listening to reports of Watchmen utilities going up, and I have an increase to report that is unusual. My town switched away from the traditional water meters to something more modern or digital. We fought it until they said that they would fine us if we didn't let them. Well, we caved, but then we discovered that the software was not up to snuff, and so we didn't receive bills for some time until the city figured it out. It was suggested that we voluntarily pay whatever the average water bill was for us so that we would not be caught with a large bill. My household did this, but we were still caught with a large bill to pay. But not as large as some of our neighbors. There have been neighbors reporting water bills as high as $10,000 and $15,000. Now, this is accumulated over a number of months. Our neighbor called the city to explain that there was no way that they could possibly afford such an enormous bill and that the bill couldn't possibly be correct. The city allegedly told them that the city would just slap a lien on their house then if they refused to pay. People, we need to be aware of some of the shenanigans that could be pulled by local politicians in the coming hard times. When they try to get you on a program and you push back, we're seeing more and more of these bureaucrats at the local levels and at all levels. They just have just an amazing way that they keep having these issues. They just make a little error in your account. Sure, they don't like what you said to them, and they just kind of make a little boo-boo in your account. And suddenly, you're the one on the hook for a $15,000 bill instead of maybe $1,500. Just an extra zero right there. And this is the kind of stuff that unelected bureaucrats do around the world. If you've ever been to any of the third world countries, you know not to tick off the bureaucrats, because they literally can make your life awful. They can destroy your life. You know to not tick them off. Keep your head down. Don't raise your eye level up. In the United States, Americans are generally unaccustomed to this type of corruption and just evilness. But the United States is getting an induction, a trial by fire introduction to how the world really works. And unless we rein in these bureaucrats, it's just going to get worse. I promise you. Covey says, no baby chicks in southeast Wisconsin. Melinda says, here in Ohio County, Kentucky, the water company has had an old pipe burst. We were told on Thursday the 6th that it would be up to 3 days before it was repaired. Saturday, the update stated it's worse than first thought. 2,000 plus families will be out upwards of 2 weeks. No showers or machine laundry. Are you prepared in your home for 2.5 weeks of no water? Could you survive that? Would it be really inconvenient? Have you stocked up a little bit to make that possible to kind of live through? Or are you, like most Americans, completely unprepared for something like that? Roses and Tea says, Northeast Oklahoma, Brahms. 1 dozen cage-free eggs now $9.99. An Amish-run restaurant is limiting eggs at their breakfast buffet to 2. 2 per customer. And any extra eggs will be charged at 75 cents a piece. It's happening. It's happening, friends. Blue Ridge Mountain Prepper says, here in Rocky Mount, Virginia, my local Walmart had 0 dried pinto beans. The space was filled with rice, so you know it's not just a one-day thing, too. Just a Mom Doing This Stuff says, hi, Steve. In regards to our gas and electric bills, last month my bill came in and my electric usage cost $82 and the fees were $242. $82 for actual usage, $242 for fees. This is northern Alberta, okay, so this is Canada. The cost of gas usage was $45 and the fees were $122. It's absolutely insane. This is northern Alberta. It doesn't seem to matter how little energy you use because the fees will eat you alive. Welcome to communism. Welcome to socialism, friends. It doesn't matter how much electricity you use. It doesn't matter how much natural gas you use. Everyone has to pay their fair share for all those solar panels, for all those windmills that don't actually generate electricity. They were just ripping out a major installation of windmills that had been in operation for just over 20 years down in Australia, I saw. And they had some people doing investigative journalism. I know it's a crime, but some people still do it. They sat there and they punched it up. They considered how much electricity those windmills made over their lifespan. And you know what they found? They didn't generate enough electricity to even pay back the installation costs. And because it's ridiculously expensive to tear these things down, they've been abandoned. The company that built them doesn't want to actually be saddled with the cost of tearing down the windmills and burying the fiberglass blades. And there are these massive concrete blocks under the surface and pads that these windmills were built on, you can't farm that land anymore. They ruined all this farmland in order to create these windmills, and unless you're going to sit there with a jackhammer and jackhammer out hundreds of tons of concrete per base, that farmland is not going to be usable for like generations. That's just the kind of stuff that we're seeing out there. The only reason why that was economically viable was because of all of the funding that that company got up front from the government to build those things, and then they took the money, walked away, and basically went bankrupt and are saddling the government with the cleanup efforts. This is how, it's just scams. That's what it is. A whole bunch of scams. And people patting themselves on the back, talking about how green they are, when in fact, they're destroying the environment. Am I preaching again? Yeah, probably. Rhonda says, I always order Walmart delivery. My hubby and I are seniors and we can't afford a car. I go online and add things to the cart, usually about the same items bi-weekly. On Thursday, I started shopping. Yesterday, on Friday, I added to the order and checked availability. I woke up this morning to place an order, but nearly half of my cart was unavailable. Mostly meats, vegetables, sugar, canned goods, milk, and cheeses. I'm in Hesperia, California. We are definitely seeing issues with supply. I was noticing issues with sugar availability as well. Is anyone else seeing issues with sugar availability? Let me know. Make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. Christy says, I as well have been off my diabetes meds because the insurance is denying all the prescriptions. I'm allergic to metformin, and they won't approve anything else. Decisions should be made by your doctors, not by your insurance companies. Is that still a heretical opinion? I don't know. More and more people are finding out that these insurance companies don't really care a lick for them. And basically we've just said basically there's not enough bureaucrats in the country with our government. Let's create whole nother organizations full of bureaucrats. LG Kitten says, last week, a 1.36 kilogram tin of Kirkland brand Costco coffee was 25 Canadian dollars last week. It's now 32 Canadian dollars. I stocked, but we're now rationing it. Well, friends, tariffs. They cut both ways, don't they? Keep your reports coming in. Appreciate all of you. If you want to get some more information about what you can do with your retirement account, whether you're in Canada or in the United States, there's a link right here on the screen. Just tap that button, fill out your information, and they will reach out to you. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report.